this week. Paren released their Q2 American DC Fast Charger Report. Electrify America expanded their NACS pilot program to multiple new stations. And the Tesla Supercharger for Business program started to become viral. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Stop right there, folks, because some of you may fast forward through this part of the video, but stick with me for this one. We are just weeks away from the CCAN's annual EV Raffle giveaway program ending. And that means that your chance to win an electric car is amazing, and you really don't get a chance unless you get in on the action and get a ticket. So we're getting close to the end here, and this is why I really want you guys to watch this video. There are only 10,000 tickets available to be sold, which means your chances to win are amazing because every ticket gives you 3 chances. If you've watched this part of the video, you already know the spiel. There are some incredible prizes this year, including a Porsche Electric for the first place option. You could also choose a Rivian or a Lucid if you happen to win that one. And that is just so cool. I mean, the prizes are amazing. They cover all taxes and fees as well. Second place option, Rivian R2, the freaking awesome vehicle. Volkswagen ID Buzz or Hyundai Ioniq. And the third place opportunity is the new Chevy Bolt EV. So we're getting right up on the edge of this program. If you've been delaying spending the $200 for a ticket because you just wanted to see how it would play out, well, guess what? Tickets are slightly undersold, which means your chances of winning are absolutely amazing. So get in on there. All you have to do is head to evraffle.org. evraffle.org. $200. Enter in. Let me know when you win. Thanks to the CCAN Action Fund for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to the main portion of the content.
I'm here at the Circle K in Wilson, North Carolina, off Interstate 95, where IONNA completed its rip and replace of the Circle K ABB Terra 184s that were here previously with their Albitronic HYC 400s. This is really a terrific location with rich amenities, the attached facility, and really good location right off Interstate 95. Let's just go ahead and walk around the site and take a look at the new IONNA station and the attached Tesla Supercharger. Okay, the reason why I'm using a NACS stall and an adapter, which I normally wouldn't, is because last week my cell phone shut down from a heat thermal preservation issue, and I'm going to try to avoid that by using the shade of my tailgate to provide cover from the sun this week. And so in order to do so, in order to get everything in frame, I use the NACS stall. And I'm not sure if plug and charge will still work. Let's find out. Well, it seems to be charging. Got a little bit of tension on the cord, but hopefully that doesn't affect it too much. Last IONNA station I was at, which was in Raleigh near the airport, a brand new station over there as well, it was covered with a canopy, so I could have gotten away with using the shade up. We are charging. Cool. 40% ramping up. Okay, here's the Tesla Cybertruck coming in here. I'm going to let him pass by. You can see, I'm assuming right here, EV charging signage left over from the Circle K. I'm not sure if IONNA and Circle K are going to keep that there or not, but I assume so. It's really nice signage letting everyone know. And why that is important, let me just explain. We got a little bit of congestion going in here to the station itself, and there's plenty of ports, but there's controlled access into the electric vehicle charging area. And if you look over here, the sign is EV charging only with the Circle K logo for their electric vehicle charging right here. So EV charging only, and then the Circle K logo on a post. We also have a pet station, which is nice. Circle K put those in, but IONNA also maintains those. We have a garbage can over here and another pet station. There's pet stations basically all over this property. And the IONNA station is basically full. We have my car filling up for the trip home. We have an ID Buzz. We have a Polestar 2 and a Chevrolet Bolt. You can see we have two J3400 and two CCS here. And then back on the backside, we got a row of Tesla Supercharger B3 dispensers with garbage cans in what is a bit of an overhang. And when the station first opened, it was swarmed with insects, but I think they've got some control on that now. And you can see this row here, but that's not it. There's more. Let me swing you around. So this used to be an electric vehicle charging station, ABB Terra 184, that got ripped out, and IONNA did not put it back in. I do not know why, but the accessibility spot is there. I'll get to in just a second, but we do have garbage cans, windshield squeegees right there, available to that station. And then over here, we have the accessible station that IONNA has, and today is 20 cents per kilowatt hour because we're still in the first week. And I don't know how all those people found this station. You know, there's me plus 3 other people, because the PlugShare link is offline. So I'm not sure if they have like stale data and they just navigated to it, hoping that it would work, or if they somehow got word that IONNA was online and decided to come out. But they're lucky because 20 cents per kilowatt hour. In fact, if I was a Tesla, I'd probably advise them to come over here because it costs less. 20 cents per kilowatt hour is darn cheap. And so anyway, we have the IONNA EV charging only signs, unlike at Wawa we actually have, because this was purpose built for electric vehicle charging, so there's no need to share spaces with the convenience store regulations in order to get it done. And you see Tesla charging there, the Tesla Cybertruck charging there. But what I was going to say is down over here there's a whole other row, a whole other row of Tesla Supercharger stalls. And how many are there? Let me just count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 over there, for a total of 20 Tesla Supercharger stalls. And again, that is not open to non-Teslas, so you have to be a Tesla to charge there. And sir, just so you know, this is 20 cents per kilowatt hour this week only, so it's cost less if you have an adapter. You can probably get it less here. Yes, sir. So anyway, seems like a lot of vitality, and you can see just by the number of cars that are here in Tesla Model S, Tesla Model Y, Tesla Model 3, Cybertruck, that this station is getting used. And it was used prior to the IONNA, and now that IONNA is here, we got all the non-Teslas corralled getting charging as well. So I would have to call this to be successful. I mean, day one is already getting utilized. Could you imagine what's going to happen a month, 2 months, or during the busy holiday Thanksgiving season? Obviously, heavily used. And I should mention also, we're not only looking at electric vehicle charging infrastructure with, you know, garbage cans and lighting, security, but we got a full C-store, beautiful looking C-store. In fact, I ate there because I bolted out of the house without eating breakfast, so I was kind of hungry. And so I went into the Crystal. I took a look at a few things. It's basically waffles and chicken is their primary thing to have for breakfast. And I wasn't quite up for chicken and waffles. So I went to the Circle K, where they have a back entrance over here. They call it the Pro Driver entrance because they have diesel lanes for refueling tractor trailers. But in there, there's a full convenience store that has a really nice coffee bar, drink bar, and hot sandwiches, obviously all the snacks you would expect to see inside a convenience store. And it was basically new build, or it was refurbished after they put in this station. And primarily the main feature of this, although we have all these things, the Crystal fast food, the garbage cans, the lighting, attached convenience store, the main feature of this station has to be that it's immediately off Interstate 95, which in previous years took a lot of effort to get up and down these parts. But now there's stations like this, and it's not the only one. IONNA has put a lot of effort into getting stations online. Let's take a look at the transformers. And here's another Tesla pulling in, Tesla Model Y. There's 2 transformers, one for each CPO. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, this one says, let me see if I can get it on camera. This one says Tesla, 2000 kVA, 277 480, for 20 stalls. It's a little bit oversubscribed. You know how it is. Tesla does what Tesla does with the algorithmic prediction of what is necessary in order to support a station, so I'm sure they figure that to be sufficient. And then we have which we used to be the Circle K transformer, and I don't think they upgraded the transformer for the IONNA station. Perhaps this is why they only put in 3 chargers instead of 4. But here, you can see it's only 1,000 kVA, which for 3 Alpitronic HYC 400s is a little bit oversubscribed, but not too much. And if you put in 4, that would be 1,600, and we will only have 1,000. So maybe that's the reason why they only put in 3 instead of 4. I'm not really sure. But anyway, beautiful station. It's a beautiful weekend day. The station is not even on PlugShare yet, and it's already almost at capacity. And the Tesla Supercharger station is getting used by all the good folk who are Tesla owners, cruising up and down the interstate and enjoying the beautiful amenities. All right, let's get back to the update. Really nice location. I was a little bit uncertain if IONNA was going to take over this station or not, just because it was such a signature location for Circle K, but they have, and they did so quickly. It is now open and operational. Additionally, this week, they opened the refuel rechargery relay in Raleigh, right near the airport, that I was just at prior to coming here. And that station is really nice. It's got a canopy. This one does not have a canopy, but that one's got a canopy right next to the airport at a very large convenience store, which is also amenity rich. They have a car wash attached, and beautiful site selection close to the interstate. And so IONNA is definitely doing a good job of their site selection. Additionally, with Circle K, they opened this past week another 6-stall station in Champaign, Illinois at a Circle K. And why it's significant for 6 stalls is because prior to this, all their locations had been 4 stalls, replacing the ABB Terra 184s. Now this Wilson Circle K had more than 4 stalls fed from ABB Terra 184s. So it kind of made sense for IONNA to add 6 stalls here, but at other locations it was just 4 stalls. But in Champaign, it is 6 stalls, so we're starting to see an increase in stall count with the Circle K property rip and replaces that are going on. And right now, it looks as though, according to the Alternative Fuels Data Center database, IONNA has 7 Circle K conversions completed in Peotone, Illinois, Morton, Illinois, De Vernon, Illinois, Lake Wales, Florida, Tarpon Springs, Florida, the Champaign, Illinois one that I mentioned, and this one here in Wilson, North Carolina, off Interstate 95. Okay, so definitely something to keep our eye on is the Circle K conversions with IONNA. They seem to be going a heck of a lot faster than I was expecting, and they're popping up all over the place, and this one is definitely going to be heavily used. In fact, today there's a Polestar 2 and a Chevrolet Bolt charging along with me, and it's not even in PlugShare, so I'm not even sure how people found this unless they're using legacy information out of their apps coming to a Circle K station, is all I could think of. Because the Tesla Supercharger station is not open for non-Teslas. That's a Tesla exclusive station over there. Okay. Next, Electrify America is expanding their NACS pilot. They have 2 stations that are open with NACS ports, Waterford Commons in Connecticut and the Florida Mall in Orlando, Florida, both currently open. In July 2026, which is this month, they're saying the Harrison Street flagship location in San Francisco, the Westfield Valley Fair, the Harrison Street is that one that's indoors, the Westfield Valley Fair in Santa Clara, California, Fashion Valley Mall in South San Diego, California, and the Santa Monica Station, the new one, is also one more, Carlillo Street in Santa Barbara, California, which is also that new station that opened, are all going to be getting NACS this month, according to the press release. And then in the latter part of the summer of 2026, we have, I'm not going to read through all these, I'll just post it up here picture in picture so you can take a look, but the point being is that they seem to be aggressively going through and replacing some CCS ports with J3400 in order to welcome additional cars to their station. You could always use an adapter, but my personal opinion is it's much preferred to be at a station where you don't need an adapter. I just find it a lot. Plus, with plug and charge, I've gotten so lazy and I guess spoiled, I guess is the way of describing it, that I just prefer to show up to a station like an IONNA station, plug in, and have the car communicate with the charger, and then just be done with it. I don't have to use an app, I don't have to tap a credit card, and don't need an adapter. So whenever possible, I prefer that, and it's always nice to have that option available, which you do here at this station. There's two stalls that are J3400 and 4 stalls that are CCS1. Now, I mentioned that Paren released their Q2 report, and there wasn't that much information. Basically, the big headline is that we were anticipating 2026 to surpass 2025, and so far we're underwhelmed with the activity so far this year. We are down from last year. Specifically in Q2, we are down about 500 ports from what occurred in Q2 2025. So definitely falling behind the curve, but we are seeing higher throughput at every stall that's installed, if that has any meaning. I don't really think it does, just because if you're looking at what you're going to purchase as a charger, you basically have to go to a CPE 250 to get a slower one. Otherwise, everything else is now faster nowadays. And with no surprise, the leader for most ports deployed in Q2 is Tesla by a long shot. However, it is noteworthy that second place is now falling to Walmart with 368 ports installed. And it should also be noted that for the first time ever, Tesla's port count in the United States has fallen below 50%. So everyone else has finally piled on enough in order to make Tesla's market share in active ports in the United States to now be less than 50%, which I guess that's something to call out. But basically the storyline is Tesla still dominates, and they're going to be dominating for a long time. And price is very stable right now. The folks at Paren who released a video on YouTube discussing this report said they had to add a decimal point in order to even see the change in the price. And the average price, where is the average price? I'm sorry, I'll put it up here, picture in picture. I forgot to capture an image of it. Okay, next, Pilot Flying J, who's been doing a very steady building of electric vehicle charging on their properties, had a press release this past week. And let me just read through some of these things because I think it's noteworthy. In 2026, Pilot's premium EV charging experience expanded to new locations, adding 50 sites across 25 states in the first half of 2026, ensuring summer travelers can confidently navigate long-distance road trips without range or experience anxiety. Pilot's charging experience is differentiated by offering the same convenience, access, and reliability that non-EV drivers have come to expect of Pilot's coast-to-coast EV network, offering a comprehensive and exceptional experience with fast chargers and 24/7 monitoring. Many locations often offer drivers canopies to escape the weather, and their favorite Pilot Eats offerings. This is a new thing that Pilot is doing. And I mentioned about plug and charge with IONNA. Is similarly for me with Pilot Flying J, I just plug in and then I go into the convenience store. It's a very reliable experience in a General Motors vehicle at a Pilot Flying J location, and they've been making very steady progress. They've also updated multiple of their travel centers, which had been a little bit long in the tooth. They've been around for a long time, so they've been doing something called New Horizons. And in the press release, they also mention new Pilot stations that are greenfield built from the ground up. So they're also building new travel centers, which got electric vehicle charging. Those are in Chicopee, Massachusetts, and Ponce de Leon, Florida. Those are both very nice electric vehicle charging stations. And curb to counter upgrades in 18 additional travel centers in 13 states and Canada Providence. As part of the store modernization initiative, New Horizons, Pilot continues to bring upgraded amenities, streamlined store layout, and enhanced guest experience to more communities across North America. So unlike 7-Eleven, which is basically just letting all their stores die on the vine, Pilot is investing in revitalizing their properties with a more modern interior, refreshed restrooms. Their restrooms has always been clean, but now they're putting in new fixtures, new sinks, and updating the plumbing, updating the facility with the attached either fast food or sit-down table service that is available inside the locations. I'm also seeing that the branding is changing away from Flying J to Pilot. So there's some locations that were Flying J stations that are now Pilot stations. So they're doing some rebranding in this effort as well. But it's nice to see that they're investing not only in electric vehicle charging, but in order to modernize the facilities as well, with modern layouts is what they're calling out. Next, the New York Times had an article about electric vehicle charging where they were focusing on Bojangles and Mercedes-Benz high-powered charging, mentioning electric vehicle charging in the Southeast kind of as a review of electric vehicle adoption in red states. And because red states are frequently home to electric vehicle charging manufacturing and other technologies, it seems as though the Southeast United States has become a hotbed for electric vehicle adoption. Florida for sure is, and I'm sitting here in North Carolina, which has definitely become a hotbed, especially around the Raleigh-Durham area, and in Charlotte there's a lot of electric vehicles as well. So the article is behind a paywall, and I don't know, I somehow clicked and it said I was a robot, so we're denying you access, but then I clicked again and refreshed and it showed me the whole article, so I was able to read it very briefly. And just in summary, it was surprisingly painting electric vehicle charging and the retail integration by Bojangles to be a positive thing, which is kind of unlikely. The New York Times has thrown some shade on electric vehicle charging in the past, but this article seemed to be very positive, both with Mercedes-Benz high-powered charging and Bojangles. And there were multiple people in LinkedIn associated with those two organizations which called out the article, and it was very interesting to see some positive press in the mainstream media for a change. Next, ChargePoint had issued a release last week which got cut off because my phone went into preservation mode from the heat of the sun here in North Carolina in late July. Apologize about that, but this week they had another one where they were talking about their partnership with a CPO called ONVO, ONVO, a locally owned travel plaza brand headquartered in Scranton, Pennsylvania, which announced a commitment to deploy ultra-fast EV charging stations at travel plazas along major highways across the northeastern United States. The initial planned rollout includes 12 ONVO locations in Pennsylvania and New York, each featuring ChargePoint Express Plus, the faster ones, not the CP 250s, but the faster ones, the Express Plus, fast charging stations designed to deliver reliable, high-speed charging for drivers on the go. Strategically located near major highways, and so on and so forth. So we can look for, does it say how many? It said 12, yeah, so 12 initially. So looks like adoption at travel plazas is continuing, and a new partnership announced with ChargePoint. Congratulations, ChargePoint and ONVO for making the arrangements in order to get charging on those properties. Next, posted into social by multiple people, but not by Tesla. I could not find a link by Tesla. The Tesla Supercharger team opened the first public Megacharger semi-station. There was a semi-station opened in Ontario, California, but it was not the 1.2 megawatt. So it was an MCS connector, but it was only 600 kilowatts from what I understand. This is the first public station that is offering 1.2 full megawatt power to the public. It's in Bloomington, California at 18434 Valley Boulevard. And the post that tipped me off to it was by someone in LinkedIn named Guy Brazilei. I believe is how his last name is pronounced. And it mentions he had the pleasure of attending the ribbon cutting for the Tesla first public semi megacharger site today. Dan briefly shared some incredible insights into the Tesla semi and megacharger platform. As a longtime Tesla owner, riding in the Tesla semi felt surprisingly familiar. That's cool how they carry the user experience through their product portfolio into the semi as well. Same intuitive driving experience while scaling to a Class B or a Class 8 truck. Big thanks to Blake Irish and the entire Tesla team for the hospitality. And he posted a couple pictures of the ribbon cutting ceremony. Megawatt charging is definitely something to keep your eye on because Class 8 trucks could dwarf what we're seeing here in the passenger vehicle space if that actually catches on. Because actually, as I sit here, there's 3 cars charging at this station. There's some Teslas charging at the Tesla station, but there is a large fleet of Class 8 trucks parked right over there. And should all those convert, those would be sucking down electrons at a ferocious rate. Next, mentioning about the Tesla Supercharger for Business going viral at the beginning, what I'm seeing is just a high uptick of the locations that were in the Alternative Fuels Data Center database this past week. 5 new locations in the Tesla Supercharger for Business opened up. And this is just in the past week. This is not in the past month. This is not in the past 3 months. This is in the past 7 days. More or less one every day during the week opened. And one to call out here, there's a C-store operator basically in between Nashville and Memphis in Tennessee called Little General. And I didn't know anything about them, but they posted into social that they are doing a grand opening of a new station in Columbia, Missouri that's going to have a Tesla Supercharger for Business station paired to it at opening. So when they're doing the ribbon cutting for the actual C-store with the gas pumps, they're also going to be opening the Tesla Supercharger for Business at the same time, which I think is noteworthy. They see a new build and they're like, well, let's put electric vehicle charging. You know, it's not like an afterthought. It's part of the initial design of the new C-store. It's on Interstate 70, and their opening is, well, by the time you all see this, it will be in the past, which is July 18th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it's at, what is the exit number? I thought I had it recorded here, but it's on Interstate 70. Brand new C-store being opened with Tesla Supercharger for Business. Additionally, there was an interesting one that had parentheses 5420 Sunset as the name of the Tesla Supercharger for Business partner. And I'm like, well, maybe that's just Tesla putting in the address. And I looked it up on the Tesla site. No, that is basically a residential complex. And what it looks like happened is there's a covered garage attached to the residential complex, and the developer wanted to have electric vehicle charging there, so they just arranged with the Tesla Supercharger for Business program for there to be Tesla fast chargers in their garage. Instead of doing a whole bunch of level 2 chargers, they said, well, let's just do the Tesla Supercharger for Business and make it really easy. And so that is a Tesla Supercharger for Business use case where, you know, if there's covered garage, you want to put charging, you don't want to put level 2 charging, you just go Tesla Supercharger for Business and maybe make a little bit coin on the side, and it just pays for itself. It doesn't cost anything to put in, or I don't really know the details about the cost of putting in one of these stations, but you know, eventually you're going to have the investment pay off because you're charging for the electrons. And just on and on. Eagle Travel Center, Francis Energy obviously is a repeat customer at a Casey's and a Chickasaw Plaza, both in the state of Oklahoma. And then, as I mentioned, the Little General. So there's that. And then, you know, just to add insult to injury to prove how far in advance Tesla is from everyone else, 15 new stations were entered into the Alternative Fuels Data Center database just in the past 7 days. This is ridiculous. Absolutely incredible. I mean, let's just stop and recognize Tesla for the awesome work that they are doing, putting in electric vehicle charging here in the United States. Absolutely incredible. And Canada too, obviously. The Alternative Fuels Data Center database covers Canada. Some of the ones to call out here are multiple targets, 3 Wawas, so 2 targets, 3 Wawas, and what is it? 2 in Canada, I think it is. Where is it? Alberta. And there was one more in the Missouri is the Casey's. There's a Casey's in Missouri, in Oak Grove, Missouri. And so when you combine that with the Tesla Supercharger for Business, that's 20 new stations just in the past 7 days. And this happens every week. This is not exceptional. And they're just grinding away at a level of execution which no one else can reach. It's truly remarkable in order to be able to see. Lastly, little feel-good article here. A gentleman by the name of Jason Becker, who apparently works for a company called Motive Power, which does EV charging, posted this into LinkedIn. I'm just going to read it. Today we completed the final step of a project that required a lot of planning, coordination, technical work, trusted partnerships. 7 new Altel 60 kilowatt dual port DC fast chargers are now energized, commissioned, programmed, and online at the school in mid-Missouri. Being trusted to help lead a project like this from planning through completion carries tremendous amount of responsibility. Utilities, electrical contractors, school leadership, manufacturers, networking teams, and technical partners all had to come together at the right time and execute their part well. But this project is personal for me too. My grandmother, Miss Ruby, graduated from that school, and these chargers are now installed directly on the old outdoor basketball court where she once played. There's something deeply meaningful about standing on the same court my grandmother played on while helping complete a project that will serve the next generation of students. This is not California. This is not in Texas, Florida, or the Upper East Coast. This is in Middle America. And if you can't see the generational change that's happening in front of us, I don't know how to explain it to you. Thanks for watching.